One of the challenges to running a YouTube product consumer culture lifestyle review channel, other than YouTube itself, is getting new products. I tend to take times with things to get to know them and working out the perfect dick or sex joke pairing to the appropriate knife. If you're wondering, DPX Hest was the easiest. Also, I don't know how this channel fits into retailer or manufacturer's corporate image. Oh, easy, yeah. 3 in 1. A recent criticism of the channel was that it took too long to talk about the knife that the video was about. So let's talk about the new budget line of sub $50 Wii knives known simply as Civivi, Civivi, Survivor. Okay, I'm not going to give up here. You know what? It's Roman numerals. That's what it is. Here, let me go to the Roman numeral converter online. Let's see. All right. Oh, okay. Invalid. So the new Wii budget line of knife known as Invalid knives feature many things like the higher end of the Chinese CR steels, 9 CR18 MOV, and not the poor people's 8 CR or 7 CR.MOV or whatever. They also have nice tolerances, the classic Wii sorta evenly brushed satin finish, and of course a flipper tab.
Hey, do they have anything in purple?
And circling back around to the topic of getting newer products to review instead of a bunch of old loaners or cheap garbage, fellow Knife Channel Birdshot 4 decided to help me out and had a few extra of the new Civivis laying around so I could hop on the click train. Yay, views on my videos! Except of course on my beer videos. The Baklash in tan G10 and the Praxis in green G10. But before we go any further, and while you wonder if you really did catch a Destiny's Child reference in the intro, let's look at the dimensions like the overall length and weight. Consider that shots fired at the dudes who complained about the Deuce Bigelow joke in the Estiletto review. Blade length and cutting edge.
You better not make fun of Queen Bey.
Handle size, grip area. Now it's my channel, and for Christ's sake, there's nothing wrong with Rob Schneider movies. Spine thickness and handle thickness. Except, of course, Rob Schneider. Also, welcome to all the new viewers, and know the videos or jokes don't get any better. Tallnesses. And the flipper tab things, whatever they're called. Oh, flipper tabs. These Civivis both feature satin finished blades made from 9 CR18 MOV. 9 CR18 MOV is shorthand for some of the components of the steel makeup, and it will require slightly less sharpening than the 8 CRs or the 7 CRs. Now, according to Pete over at Cedric and Ada Outdoors and his steel tests, which I'll link at the end, it performs somewhere in the VG10 or 440C steel in edge retention. Between manufacturers, though, even the same steel can vary due to heat treat, use of an Ultra Alpha reverse grip, the combination of the fullness of the tactical beard and tightness of the Under Armour shirt from the dude holding it, and other manufacturing processes, so it's sort of a guide only. The Baklash first has a drop point blade that's hollow ground. There's a nice thumb-sized indentation on the spine with some okay jimping, allowing for choking up on the blade. You know, moving your fingers closer to the edge. Living on the edge means bringing band-aids. The Praxis, on the other hand, has a taller blade profile with a flat grind and a slightly longer cutting edge. Both knives are razor sharp out the box, and blade centering is great. Both are deployed by flipper tabs, which are kind of edgy. I assume that the smooth, comfortable, easy to fidget with flipper tabs found on the Lion Steel SR11A are patented. Otherwise, companies wouldn't need to create acute peaks or add jimping to flipper tabs. Now you may offer a counterpoint. Well, what if you only open your knife when you intend to use it? What's the big deal? And then close it when you're done. Then I'd say you're stupid, because who does that? It's no secret social media knife people fidget and resell their knives more than they use them, so it's actually a real big consideration, okay? The tabs aren't terrible or anything, just about standard on most flippers. I've even used ones like the Hinderer XM18, which is a $400 knife, and those aren't any better either. The deployment is nice and smooth because the blade pivots on balls, or a ball bearing system, which is the way an adult whose sense of humor has evolved past a male in the 7th grade might say. I'd say the Baklash is a slightly quicker flipper than the Praxis, but not much. D10 is strong. I can't flick it downward to get it to open. However, somehow I fucked up my elbow about 2 months ago, so my flings aren't as hard as they used to be. We'll call that batoning elbow. Both knives' locks are handled by liner locks that are jimped. They feel about standard for liner locks. They don't seem sticky. I prefer axis locks and compression locks to liner locks, but that's just a personal preference. The handle is comprised of G10 scales over skeletonized stainless steel liners, which makes the knives kind of light. Kind of light being subjective, but to me that's usually around 4 ounces or less. So one is a great everyday carry weight and the other one is pretty close. I like that the liners are different colors. It's a cool touch, even though it's not purple. Blue liners and tan G10 on the Baklash, green G10 and gold liners on the Praxis. Gold, of course, a sign of wealth or a lack of taste. The G10 scales have a little bit of traction, not overly aggressive, and shouldn't be too hard on the interior of your pockets. Who likes pilly pockets, right guys? A phrase that sounds as ridiculous as New York City in an old El Paso commercial. But an important consideration for people who want to keep their pockets real nice. I prefer the grip on the Praxis a bit more because it goes with the contours of my fingers. However, it doesn't have that nice thumb rest on the top of the blade like the Baklash does. The pocket clip. It's a little ugly, but I admire the weight-saving holes as being practical. They have a nice amount of spring or deep carry and slide in the pocket nicely. So they're functional, even though they're kind of ugly. So to solve that, just drink a few beers. You know, you're not much to look at either. The clips are configurable to the right or left side in a tip-up configuration only. Are we at comparisons? Okay, first the Baklash, and, you know, why not the Praxis too? Let me put it this way. The Baklash is probably the better of the two knives from a practical standpoint, as it's lighter, has a more neutral grip, and has that nice thumb ramp on top of the blade, or thumb indentation. I think the Praxis is better looking though, and I like the blade shape more. The handle on the Praxis also works well for my hand. Both knives have the paracord bead hole in the back, and both are very great functional blades for under $50. Kind of like the Spyderco Tenacious, seen here. This is $40 to $50 now, and I like the spider hole a little better from a comfort standpoint in deployment. The steel in the Civivi knives should be more wear resistant. All have large blades, nice sized handles. Remember, I like knives to be about 4 ounces or less, a 3.5 inch grip or larger, and a longer than 3 inch cutting edge, at least if I'll carry it often, and of course these all sort of have that. Now the Lion Steel SR11A, smoother of a flipper and a more comfortable flipper tab, like I mentioned earlier. This is the tab I wish most flippers had. However, it's over $100 and heavier. I don't carry it much. Plus the Rotoblock or Rotolock or whatever it's called isn't quite as sturdy as Lion Steel claims. I've tried with 2 different SR11As and both had some lock play when the Rotoblock was engaged. I don't have the Wii 617 anymore because it was a loaner, but these are on par to me in fit and finish and overall quality. Now the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. I still prefer this over all the other knives seen here because of weight, deployment, looks, and I guess blade steel. However, from a fit and finish perspective, you're getting about the same as the CVV knives and just general manufacturing quality. How about one more Chinese flipper? This one is a knockoff of a non-production Sienkiewicz design. Smooth, light, and most importantly, very purple. Maybe a bluish purple, but it still counts. CVV needs to get in on the purple. If anyone ever gives you a blanket statement that all Chinese knives are junk, they have no idea what they're talking about. I haven't seen any indication that the best American production blades aren't equal to the finest Chinese production knives. Sure, China does produce junk knives, which is fair, but I own a ton of American and Chinese-made knives, as well as many other countries, and they are all capable of high quality nowadays. There are certain locks and looks and ergonomics I prefer, and sort of coincidentally, most of these happen to be on American-made blades, but, you know, that's just my opinion. Both CVV blades are of excellent quality, and if they work well for your hands and you don't mind a slightly uncomfortable fidget flipper, then buy it. At least the tab. This is an excellent value, right under $50, and I have an easier time recommending it than, say, a basic clone knife like a Gonzo, only because we knives tend to respect designers and intellectual properties more than Gonzo does. Sorry, Gonzo. I have some $20 Gonzos, though, that are very well made, too. So it's not a knock on their quality, just a knock on their corporate policies. How about that? Anyway, if you like this sort of a video, subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Also, Birdshot 4, and thanks to the 2 of them over there, and CVV for the knives. Civivi, I don't care. Leave a comment. Do the Patreon thing if you find it in your heart, or buy the knives through the links in the description to support the channel. Or don't. Thanks for watching.